I said in a podcast and quite a few other places that I believe that our children choose us, and that's helped me get out of a lot of mom guilt. And I got some backlash on both of those statements because people listen to respond, they don't listen to understand. And I don't believe that mom guilt is something that we should be holding on to. It's not something that makes us better moms in the long run, meaning guilt is a notification. It's a notification that what you've done or what you're doing or not doing is out of alignment with our values. So if you believe that a good mom doesn't work out this outside of the home, which is not my belief, but a lot of moms do believe that, but you're a single mom and you have to, and in that podcast I was on, that mom, I believe, was working 3 jobs and felt guilty about it because she was keeping the lights on and keeping food in their bellies. But she wasn't physically there with them, but she was taking care of other physical needs. So that mom guilt is not healthy. So that type of guilt is something that we want to reframe. We want to change the way that we're thinking about it. And I listed a couple of ways that you could change the way that you're thinking about it. You're providing other needs for your children. And the things that I have let myself off the hook with guilt about, because my son's soul chose me as his child, are things that were out of my control. Mistakes that I made that I felt really bad about. And I'm not sure what kinds of things people thought I was talking about that I can just, I guess I do kind of know what people thought I was talking about, like doing drugs and beating our kids. I'm not condoning either of those things. I'm not blaming our children for choosing those parents. I'm saying that I'm 5'8". I have a 5'8" perspective of my life. And there is a 10-foot perspective. I know there is, because I've looked back in the past of my life, things that I thought were the worst thing that could possibly happen. Going through a divorce, I thought, was the worst thing that could possibly happen to me. Not being with the father of my son was the worst thing I thought could possibly happen to me. But we didn't have a healthy relationship. We didn't have a good connection. I was miserable. I didn't know I was miserable until I was out. Until I was in my current relationship of 9 years, where we're sickeningly happy. I didn't know. You can call that a 10-foot perspective. You can call that looking back wisdom. But my son chose me. My son chose his dad. And we didn't stay together. My partner now is a role model that I wanted my son to look up to. That's how I chose my partner now, was someone I thought I would be proud of my son turning into. Whether you want to call it God or the universe or whatever, I believe that there's a higher perspective for the things that we go through in our life. And sometimes the things that we go through are part of our purpose. My son had a blood draw the other day, and he was terrified of getting his blood drawn. And we let them know he's nervous about this. They assigned a nurse who, or I believe they're called a phlebotomist, who had blood draws when she was a kid, and all of the phlebotomists that were in charge of taking her blood didn't do anything to make her less scared. And so she became a phlebotomist that empowers children, gives them the choice. Would you like numbing spray? You tell me when to poke you. 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3. You tell me when to remove the needle. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. My son, who loves that control, felt so safe with her. And he did it. And he refused at another place. That was the third place we'd gone to. So that woman took that job because of what she experienced in her childhood. I'm a mom coach because my mom wasn't a happy mom. And I love my mom for that, because she gave me the purpose in life to help moms be more happy. And there's a lot of, excuse my French, but fucked up shit out there. I know. And I know a lot of people who are doing a lot of good because of that fucked up shit. I am not blaming children for choosing their parents. I still believe that children choose their parents. I'm not excusing parents' behavior because their children chose them. We all have responsibilities to do the best that we can with the tools and resources that we have. And if you're a mom who doesn't know how to stop yelling at her kids, get some resources. If you're a mom that doesn't know how to stop spanking her kids, or if you're a mom that's doing drugs and it's hurting your children, get some resources. That's what I'm saying. And I get that it was a small portion of a larger conversation, so there's no way that any of the people that heard what I said could have known that that's what I was talking about. But I said what I said, and I believe what I believe, and I've made mistakes. And if you haven't, I'll take your course. Probably won't help, because I'm still human. I'm still gonna make mistakes. And because my son's soul chose me, and because of who I am, he and I are just fine. In fact, while I was responding to one of the comments, my 12-year-old son, completely unprompted, came into the kitchen, gave me a hug, and said, "I love you." 100% unprompted. Stopped playing a video game to do that. So I think we're good. And if you're one of the moms that I mentioned before that needs some support, send me a message. I'm the mom support coach. It's what I do. Bye, guys.